Anka, please.
Yes, yes. So about democratic values.
So the original question was about democratic resilience in general, but we have two wonderful gentlemen here who also raised the necessity of politicians to live up to standards. So I wonder if you agree with these points as a politician yourself.
Of course. It is us, the politicians, to stay at a high level and to increase the standard. It also is the role of citizens to push the politicians for high standards. And those who are not happy of what they see on the political scene, I strongly encourage them to join the political scene and to become themselves politicians, to do things better. But I want to make a comment regarding the level of democracy and in democratic countries. And we are very well aware that during recessions, during difficult economic times, this is the best moment for extremist and populist parties and measures to emerge. This is the best moment when cheap speeches and attitude that is, against stability and predictability of political and economic life, such speech is actually much easier to be embraced by everybody. So the difficulties of current times are favoring the increase of extremist parties, yes? And when I say extremists, I'm also including here the populist in terms of different ideas, but also in terms of economic ideas, which are equally very dangerous nowadays, especially that we are in an economic war, as I explained earlier. While for the countries that are in the region, I think it's now the role of the strong civil societies in these countries to push for high standards and for applying the values and the standards of democracies. Also is the role of the European Union to guard somehow these countries in implementing democratic values, in safeguarding what has been achieved so far. And here, for example, I think the fact that Moldova and Ukraine are already candidate countries, it's of a very much help, because are in a much stronger dialogue with the European Commission. And this dialogue would also mean measures to build and strengthen, actually to strengthen democratic institutions. So it is the role of the European Union, of civil societies, of think tanks, of people who can model the society to make sure the democratic values is there. And yes, to come back to your direct question, yes, we politicians are very much responsible these days. I mean, you need much more responsibility during difficult times than in good times. In good times, everybody's happy, life is easy. Yes, it's much easier for everybody. But nowadays, I think the pressure is bigger, especially for those of us who are more visible for the society. And I think I personally do this.
Thank you. Dan, I would like to move to you. As a representative of a very specific age group, which is usually the most disappointed with